In this particular GE, you will be given a problem statement for which you have to choose a target industry. And for that target industry, you have to propose a solution using two tools. For this whole GE process, you will be getting a think time of 2 minutes, during which time the slide will be presented with the problem statement, the industries and the tools. You will be given 4 industries and 4 tools. Post your think time, I'll stop sharing the screen. Everyone will be giving their opening remarks. Each one will get 45 seconds per person, and your sequence for the opening remarks will be according to the numbers allotted to you guys. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
When everyone is done with the opening remarks,
Yes.
we'll have one floor discussion. We'll have it for 10 minutes, considering we have 11 participants student. Post which, as a group, you guys will present your conclusion and the time for that is 2 minutes. You'll have to present your conclusion within 2 minutes.
I have a doubt here. After the open floor discussion, will we be notified that the discussion is over? Now, present your conclusion.
Yeah, you will be notified.
Okay, thanks.
Any other doubts?
No, sir.
No, sir.
So for the open floor discussion, we have to pick that specific industry that we have chosen from, or everything we have to discuss?
You guys have to discuss that. How will you choose an industry without having a discussion? Okay.
Okay.
Considering you guys are having G for the first time,
Yes.
I'll explain. Your opening remarks, you will be presenting exactly, you'll explain what is your understanding of the problem statement, which industry you have chosen for that, why you have chosen that, and what solution you are proposing using which tools. You will be giving a summary within 45 seconds. That will be opening statements. Jैसे generally, if you have watched, different, what you say, if someone is a lawyer or, lawyer related series, उसमें जैसे opening remarks देते हैं before a case, presenting how it will, what it means to them, why they are saying that they are in the favor of a defendant or they are against them. That's your opening remarks. After which it will be open for discussion. Considering it's 11 of you, there's very, very little chance that all 11 of you are choosing the same industry. So in your 10 minutes time, you guys will allot some time to discuss the problem statement. Then you'll choose which industry you want to target, which industry is the best for that particular problem statement. And in the end, after that, you'll select which tools you will be utilizing to provide the best possible solution. This will happen for 10 minutes. And in the end, you'll be presenting whatever you guys have come up with, using which points you have utilized, why you have gone with it, a proper solution. Like this was the problem statement. This is the industry we guys are targeting for so and so reasons. And we have proposed so and so solution using this and this tool. Am I clear, or anyone has any doubts?
No, sir. Clear.
Clear, Yash. Clear,
Yes.
sir.
Look, conclusion does not need to be presented by a single person. Let's say someone presented the conclusion within a minute. You still have a minute left, and that person left out a few key points. Someone else can add on to it. Provide a proper build-up, and your presentation, your final conclusion will include your opening remarks as well. Considering opening remarks is also considered as a part of the discussion. So your discussion will leverage points taken from the opening remarks. That's how your discussion will flow, and using everything, you'll come up with a conclusion that should be presented in the last 2 minutes. Generally, your opening remarks, you get individual marks for your opening remarks. For your presentation, the final conclusion, you get marks as a group. Obviously, the person speaking might get some extra marks, but it shows the clarity of thought as a group. And overall, rest of the marking system for the open floor discussion is basically like a GD itself. You guys will be evaluated not just on your speaking skills, not just on your articulating skills, but also your listening skills, your patience, your teamwork, your leadership qualities, each and every aspect that can be well evaluated will be evaluated. So I don't want like someone else is speaking, but we are not paying attention. We are just focusing on our notes. Don't do that. Ensure you're listening to whatever the other person is saying. Just imagine if you guys are speaking something and I'm not looking at you, I'm just looking at my notes, I'm looking at my mobile phone. It won't look good, right? Same manner during the whole G process. 2 minutes in the initial 2 minutes, whatever you guys are writing, that's done and dusted. Post that, maybe write a point or two, maybe a few keywords, depending on what other people have said, or if you're making a few changes, noting down. It should be a very minimal usage of your book and pen. No one is stopping you for using your book and pen during the think time, but it should be very minimalistic for the rest of the G. Are there any doubts?
No, sir.
No.
Is the
No.
structure clear to each and every one of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Those who have given the G before, is there anything that you guys would like to add on so that the newcomers will get a few pointers on the structure? Not any personal tips on the structure.
No, sir.
Abhay, Sonal,
No, sir.
I guess no one else has given a G before. So currently we have got 11 people. 9 of you are giving G for the first time and 2 of them have given multiple Gs before. I want to see the fact that someone else has prepared, not affecting the rest of you. You guys are still giving your best because I've
Yes.
explained the structure in the best way possible. I've gone into detail. Okay. All the best, guys. My camera will be turned off. The same might happen during a G as well. It happens most of the times. Some panelists might prefer keeping their cameras on, some might prefer keeping their cameras off. Just because someone left. Anyways, just because my camera is off does not mean that I'm not paying attention to you guys. Okay?
Got it.
And remember one thing, there's absolutely no need to panic. Even if you're stuttering a little bit, you're not able to, recall your point, calm down and speak again. Try to be as calm as possible. No need to panic at all. Just a second, let me rename Abhay. Three, four, five, six, seven, eight. Okay, you guys will be speaking in your order itself for the opening remark. Hello, all the best, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Siddhi, can you please start with your opening remarks?
Okay. Good evening, everyone. We are aware how in this world disasters are a part of our problem, are a part of the problem. When there are positive sides, there are negative sides also, and disasters are a part of this world. We need to handle these disasters, and we need to have a proper disaster management system. And for this, we are given a problem statement based on poor disaster management. Now, I personally choose transportation as our problem state as a
Okay, next.
as the industry. And okay.
Yes, so as Siddhi pointed out, poor disaster management is nothing new for us. In a country like India, where 1.4 billion people reside, any event can turn into a disaster. So we need to be very careful in managing them. And I think construction is one industry which can help us uh, manage the disasters better. And the tools I would choose would be satellite imaging and government schemes.
Okay, next.
According to the problem statement for disaster management, the industry I choose is agriculture because agricultural crops are mostly affected by the disaster management. The crops wither, and we can take proper things that are agriculture produce into the concern. The first thing I would like to go through the is government schemes like Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana is something that is in current working, but I think more and better schemes are need to be operated, and research and development like
Okay, thank
more
you. Next.
indigenous.
Good evening, everyone. So, the topic given, the problem statement given is poor disaster management, and I would like to choose the industry as construction. The tools I would like to leverage are government schemes and satellite imaging. So, basically, the tools I would like to use are satellite imaging and media. So, basically, satellite imaging should be used for the areas prone to disaster, and already the things should be, uh, they should be, uh, pre-decided according to the disasters, the areas which are prone, and the media should be alerting the people in advance so that the people are not affected by the disaster.
You next.
Hi, also the given problem statement is poor disaster management, and I have chosen the industry computer IT. For that, I have chosen the solution government scheme and research and development. So basically, we have to tackle the disaster management, and we should work on ground level. For that, research and development will help us to make predictions or to be aware before the time that so and so disaster it can take place. And for that, how schemes will happen, because they will help us to tackle medical and food facilities, and they will also help us to relocate the people who are going to get impacted by those disasters.
Please continue if someone else is finishing. Ananya.
Yes, sir. So, as you all are well aware that proper disaster management is the need of the hour in India, especially after each and every disaster or even small inconveniences happening all around. And the industry that I've chosen to solve this problem is the construction industry, and the tools are media and R&D.
Good evening, everyone. To tackle the issue of poor disaster management, I would like to go with the industry construction. As we can see, with the changing climate and other things, the environment has been affected and natural calamities are bound to happen at a more aggressive rate than ever before. So for that, we would be needing proper houses and other facilities which are already poor. So I would like to go with tools such as government schemes and R&D that would be beneficial for the coming time.
Good evening, sir. For the problem poor management system, poor disaster management, I choose the industry construction, and for the tools that I go for are government schemes. I think the government should roll out efficient government schemes, and for this proper awareness, media will help us in spreading more awareness for for the proper schemes. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. As we know, the problem is poor disaster management, and for this problem, I choose company construction and computer IT. And we know that in construction and computer IT sector or industry, we so many hazardous materials that cause very harmful effects in our environment. So for those industry, I choose schemes, tools, media, and R&D that helps us to find the major factors that increase the uh, uh, hazardous things that affects our environment in negative way.
Good evening, everyone. The industry which I really select is going to be the computer and IT. And I think
Why you are
that,
not audible properly?
hello, sir, am I audible? The industry which I really select is going to be computer and IT. There are a lot of majority of time, there is a detection time period and a long tolerance limit or time period that we do not able to detect the actual time period. And they also have predictive analysis not proper. And by the help of R&D and satellite, I think we can address this issue. Just like by the help of cloud pattern or by the help of the frequency, just like if we really detect the frequency earlier, it's pretty much possible that we can address this. And cloud pattern, we can also that with.
Okay, next.
So out of all the given industries, the industry that I feel is the most prone to disaster is agriculture, because we often hear about fire, the crops catching fire, or flooding being there, or sometimes the pests and the mosquitoes destroy the crops. So I feel like that is most prone to disasters, and the tools that I would like to leverage are R&D and government schemes. R&D, as in there should be more research, on the prediction levels of the rainfalls, how much rainfall there will be, so that we can, uh, plant some crops in some different seasons. Sometimes we can plant the same crop in the same fields. And for government schemes, I feel like if something goes bad, then they can provide some, benefits
Guys,
to the farmers.
thank you. The floor is now open for discussion.
Hi, also I think so we are here to discuss the topic poor disaster management, and for that we are given four industries, and having heard the discussion of everyone, I believe we all are scattered and we all have chosen different industries. Uh, so I think we should decide collectively and pick one industry. Having said that, the chosen industry I would go with is computer IT, because what I believe is, having seen developments in AI, and having seen developments with the ISRO new satellites, wherein we are advancing towards IT and technology. So I think computer IT or technical aspects would help us prepare and plan better for our upcoming disasters, and this in turn will help us to reduce and manage better.
Yeah, I'm completely agree with Sunal that with the help of computer, we can find the detection time period and when gonna be a disaster going to be the happen. And with the help of computer and IT, we can make a device which can measure the frequency of the earthquake. For a wind measurement speed, we can also do such kind of thing. We can also take the analysis of the ocean water that a lot of time that tectonic plate with continuous light going to be happen. So such kind of thing we can do.
See, while
Okay,
that may
right.
be relevant, I think construction would be more in that sense. We can see Japan and other countries. Japan faces most of the natural calamities and still bounce back, whereas India is not able to bounce back from minor earthquakes and other things that was major. That is due to the less infrastructure. We have poor infrastructure in our country. So that improving the infrastructure, having good constructions, good buildings, and not building the houses and other things in the earthquake prone areas would help us counter this issue.
I agree
Yes.
with you too, but we can also
Can I
consider
speak, Siddhi? I was.
transportation as the industry.
But I
Industry
believe
Actually, I was.
as the
agreeing with
Yeah.
industry, and government schemes and R&D as our tools. Government schemes like like Nitin Gadkari, our Minister of Transportation, has already developed a new scheme where whenever a road accident happens, then the person who reports the accident or the person who helps the victim of the accident would not be reported to the police station, or the police would help the person who has reported the victim or help the victim, like that government scheme. And also in R&D, developing airbags inside cars, and government schemes like in making those airbags compulsory in the cars. Such disaster management systems can help, and we can also consider transportation as our industry. Please
Okay, yes,
think over
I
it.
Siddhi,
think
I would,
majority of us are going with construction as an
Fiyushi,
industry,
let me
and
finish and
yeah,
then
yeah,
you
go
can.
ahead, Ritesh. Yeah.
So yes, Siddhi, you mentioned car accidents and road accidents. I think that this is a big problem, but it cannot be termed as a disaster. For disaster, we can say that floods and earthquakes, drought, these are more bigger problems for us. And we have seen how a couple of years back, the Kedarnath, the cloud burst in Uttarakhand caused such a problem for us. And I think construction is one industry that is somehow contributing to these disasters. Construction, reckless cutting of forests for real estate, and that is something creating a big problem for us. We are not able to plan our house construction, in the right way, so that we can uh, protect people who are living in the sensitive areas. And for that, I think satellite imaging is something. And right, someone mentioned that ISRO has launch satellites which can help us in better satellite imaging, so we can identify areas which are more prone to disaster, and we can move people out of that. We can predict those disasters and move people out of those areas, so we can protect them better. And also the government scheme, obviously we cannot completely stop disasters, so when they happen, the governments can compensate for the losses that are beared by people. And I think government is the biggest stakeholder in our country, and they providing schemes for people who are living in disaster affected areas will be of great help for us.
But I believe
Yeah, so
agriculture is more affected by the disaster because when agriculture produce are affected, the prices of the food items surges very high, and this creates a havoc in the market. I believe agriculture produce are most affected, so I think we should take this for discussion
Yes,
as well.
actually,
While
What
I
do you say?
agree
agriculture
with
may be more
Krishna.
relevant for you, if
Uh,
we see natural disasters are more towards the construction and other side in the hilly areas. Agriculture is impacted as well, but what we see is housing being torn off and other activities. So I think construction would be more relevant as of now because disasters hamper
yeah,
the
I
public lives more instead of the normal food or crops you have grown. I think we should focus more on public lives and hence go with construction for now.
Although
Now
I
I
don't
I
think
agree
that
on what
transportation
Ritesh
or
said.
any other industry should be separated, that this is not a part of the bigger disaster management system. But yes, let's come to a consensus. And I think I believe that we should go ahead with construction in the interest of time.
yes, so we
Yeah,
can
yeah
look
okay.
at
now I
So
would
like the
like to
we
parameters we
agree.
can look
Like
is
I think
how
we should
many
discuss
lives
on
are
Yeah, I
tools
being
believe
for
that
now.
we should also.
how many lives are being affected by these industries. So I feel like we can narrow it down to basically construction and agriculture, because I feel like these two industries like affect the livelihoods of most of the people. So maybe let's narrow it down to construction and agriculture and then move forward with that.
I
Yeah,
defer
but
back
I
Yeah,
to
would
I
say
like
we
to
agree
are.
add
with
some point
Akshay.
I
because
defer
there
back
is
to
a
say
lot of
we.
point
I
going
defer.
around the agriculture and construction, but we overlook the option of computer analytics that this is the industry that we are going through in the future, and this is the one industry that is booming right now also. So, and there is so many material that is very hazardous to our environment. So, I would like to move the point from agriculture because agriculture in affects the agricultural wastage effects are known to peoples of the country or the world, but the computer IT sector wastage are very unknown to the people because people are not aware of their wastage, and these are the very harmful because these include chips and some CDs and the pen drive. These are all the plastic made hardware that is not easily degradable.
While
I
what you
respect
say
your
is
Sorry to
correct
opinion,
and
interrupt,
We
but
this
while
is
should
I
discuss
well
about the
agreed,
Guys, this
tools.
is
I think
time.
we
We
should
should
go
pick
with
one
construction
industry.
as of now because the time is
yeah,
less. So I think we
Yeah,
should discuss on tools because I think most of us have agreed towards construction
construction.
that
construction.
will be of greater
Yes, so
impact.
I believe that media is a very important tool as we can create awareness among people. As we can see that there was a Mahakumbh stampede that happened yesterday itself. So if people are more aware as to where to go and how to manage themselves, and as we all know that everyone wanted to bathe at the Sangam nose. So if people are made more aware that how that's how we can actually manage such situations better. And another thing we can also do is
Also, satellite
Yeah, so
image
I would agree with Ananya as she
focus
said that
because,
media.
yeah, go on, Priyash.
Yeah, so I would agree with Ananya. She said that media plays a very important role in the poor disaster management. So basically, if media is alerting the people beforehand at the right time, people would not be affected as such. And also, satellite imaging is very important, I think, because the areas prone to disasters should be identified before construction only, so that the capital is not invested at the wrong place, and people should be, you know. Feel safe for that.
Okay,
Also, I
to
believe
Yes,
this
I
further
agree
enhance this,
that
I would like to go
I
with
would like
government
to.
schemes for now. As we can see, if there is a natural disaster and people are affected, they tend to build their houses again in the similar areas. So instead of that, government could shift them from the earthquake-prone areas to less earthquake-prone areas and provide them subsidies to build house, help them. And in such cases, the government subsidies would be much helpful and people would
Yes,
be more safer than
yes.
previous ones.
also, I
Adding
believe
on to
satellite
this,
Definitely,
what I
development
believe
Rahul.
is,
funding is also a very important tool that can be used along with government
Yes,
schemes.
you're right. You're right. Media can play a big role, but I think media has its limitations. It can only educate people, but government is someone who is the backbone of our country, and they'll help better manage the disaster. They can compensate. They can provide subsidies to people who are affected by disasters. So I think government has a better role to play. And for the second tool, satellite imaging is something that we are going ahead with. So I feel satellite imaging and government scheme are the two tools which are very useful for better disaster management.
I agree
Research
with
and
the
I
government
development.
like
scheme
to
part.
differ that
Uh,
Research and
research is
development
the
can also be
also
taken in account
main component.
uh, because construction of
Okay.
habilitation centers, like there we can shift people when there is the time of disaster. Construction more relief centers, then we can provide food and other things to other people who are affected by this. So research and development can be also be taken into consideration.
I agree
I
with
Yes,
research and
adding on to
development
I
this,
point
agree
I
with
think
actually
Krishna.
because I feel like research and development is an umbrella term of the satellite imaging. I think we can include satellite imaging in research and development
Okay.
plus some more areas as well so that we can identify not only the earthquake prone areas but
For the conclusion, please
provide.
Guys, I
So I
think
So
think
to conclude the topic of poor disaster management, so we have selected the industry construction, and under that we have considered an umbrella term of research and development and a government scheme. So how exactly they are going to help us using research and development, we are going to solve the problems at the ground level. For that, we will take pre-planned initiatives, or we will plan and decide in advance as to how exactly could the things be. And having said that, once things are in place, we can obviously go ahead with government schemes wherein people who are impacted by disasters, or people who are going to get impacted by the disasters, they can be provided medical aids, and they can be provided medical and food aids in advance. And additionally, there could be better relocation plans which could be done in advance, so that less lives are impacted, and in turn it is overall good for our country.
also using satellite imaging, we can predict the upcoming disaster that might affect the people and their lives.
but Krishna, we decided that satellite imaging will be under research and development. So we have
Yeah.
the industry is construction, but the tools are R&D and government schemes.
And in
So
government
Yeah.
schemes, we can also include like some awareness programs through the government. Like for example, someone gave the example of Mahakumbh, so people should be aware that a lot of people are going. So manage their time when to go, not near a Shahi Snan, or maybe awareness programs can also be included as part of the government schemes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, thank you for your time, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Yash.
Thank you, sir.
How did that event according to you guys?
I feel that we didn't come to a consensus, and in the
Yeah.
conclusion,
Yes, sir.
Out of time just on your industries.
yes.
Yes.
7 minutes out of
So
it.
basically, 4 minutes went for the discussion of which industry to choose. I think that should be short enough.
Just to choose your industry, you guys ended up spending 7 minutes, and that too, put in a text that only last 4 minutes are left. That's why you guys move towards your, what do you say, tools part. Otherwise, it
Yes,
look
sir.
like you guys have decided कि 10 मिनट हम industry ही choose करेंगे.
But
And sir, also one more thing I felt that like I tried to speak in between, but then I wasn't able to. So that was also one of the point. I think I have to learn.
Your feedbacks. Before that, I'd like to give you feedback as a group.
Yes, sir.
Things that I felt lacking was oh, this this was a decent G compared to what you guys are actually gonna face. During a discussion of 8 minutes or 10 minutes, it's going to be a chaos. But what I was expecting, considering I'd already explained the whole process to you beforehand, like how you're supposed to approach. Everyone ended up just defending their own industries. I guess only a couple of you guys actually understood the discussion, changed your industries, or followed up on what you guys were speaking, pushed your industries properly. Despite the fact that it looked very clear that discussion is flowing in just two particular industries. Still, the other industries were being mentioned. Look, if you guys are not able to finalize a particular industry, go with elimination method. This looks the least relevant to a problem statement. Like for example, this shoe.
Yash, sorry to disturb. Can you switch off my camera for 1 minute? Uh,
For example, like the issue ended up saying despite after 6 minutes, someone ended up mentioning that we are in favor of two particular industries, that's construction and agriculture.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
IT.
Akshat mentioned.
Yes, sir. Sir, I was trying to narrow it down because I felt like it is a good fact that we did touch upon all the industries, but I felt like the time was running out. So maybe let's try to narrow it down to two, the majority of the people, and then maybe we can go ahead with one.
You did that very late, but you took the initiative, that's great. Try to do that a bit early, maybe towards the 3 or 4 minute mark.
Okay, sir, I'll keep that in mind.
And you'll have such experiences during your G as well when you're narrowing it down, but someone else is still pushing their own point. Okay, this was first experience for Dishu. There might be instances where someone is having their first experience in their actual G itself, or they're not that structured, that well prepared. They did not work on the feedback that those guys got. In those cases, be polite and say, look, we understand that each industry is relevant, but we have to pick the one which is being impacted the most and looking at how the group is going, how the discussion is flowing. We believe these two are going to be the most impacted one, and we are trying to come to a particular industry as a group. So let's not push our own personal choices and work as a group. This shows leadership quality, gives you bonus points. And on top of that, it shows, guys, please prefer keeping your camera on. Yeah, it's okay if you want to go for just a second, but try to keep it on. Like I was there, what was I saying? It shows that you got proper leadership qualities, and moreover, in a very, what you can say, sassy manner, maybe you have indirectly said to the person, look, as a group, we are not heading towards that direction, so please stop breaking the flow. Either be with us or don't speak. In a way that no one can even pinpoint to you like you went wrong. You handled it in such a way that you're getting brownie points. At the same time, you're ensuring the other person is not creating a chaos. And if the other person still makes a chaos, You have safeguarded yourself, you have earned that extra point, and that person is making a fool of themselves. Especially if that person is going against the group. Out of 11 people, let's say 8 or 9 people are flowing in a particular direction, and one person is just interjecting for no reason, just to make themselves visible. This is how you should be tackling. Here, 7 minutes. Just imagine you are supposed to present a solution. Clearly उधर लिखा है solution presentation. Solution के ऊपर discussion ही नहीं है. Discussion है industry choose करने के ऊपर. What are you supposed to do? Finalize your industry ASAP and then propose. Another thing that I found out was you have to propose a solution using 2 tools. यहाँ 2 tools अलग अलग काम कर रहे हैं आपका, not towards a single solution. टेस्ट मैच चालू है, 2 लोग खेल रहे हैं, एक इंसान मैच को ड्रॉ करने के लिए खेल रहा है, जीतने के लिए खेल रहा है. पता नहीं कौन सा सक्सेस होने वाला है. मेक देम वर्क टुगेदर, राइट? जो आप दे रहे हो दोनों टूल्स को, मेक देम एज अ सिंगल प्रॉपर सॉल्यूशन, क्रिएट अ सॉल्यूशन यूजिंग बोथ द टूल्स, लेवरेजिंग इट. You guys went with what? The government schemes and media. No, not sorry, media no, R&D. You went R&D and government schemes. Yeah, you can create a proper solution with both of them. How R&D can support government schemes, or how government schemes can support R&D, or how we can create an ecosystem out of it to create a better response time for your disaster management. What is disaster management? Having a better response time, right? Because prevention is one of the factors that you're looking at. We have covered that angle, but the major fact is, like someone mentioned, Kedarnath. Kedarnath was not something that could have been controlled. It's a cloud burst. Okay, there are many factors, many things that can be said, but in hindsight, ये कोई 15 दिन में उसको आप टाल सकते थे, ऐसा कुछ था नहीं वो. At that time, what is important? Your response. Are you guys understanding?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Focus on a particular solution as a whole. And when you guys are presenting your conclusion, please put emphasis on your solution and not on the industry or your tools. They are tools, not your answers. Those are tools for your solution. नाम ही tools है उनका यार. Come on, focus on what they are being called. Now coming on to individual feedbacks. Let's start with your numbers itself. I'll start with Siddhi. Very, very slow start. Your opening remark, you could not even mention the industry and tools you're going with. Moreover, initially I thought you are a person who speaks very slowly, but that was not the case. I saw that during the discussion. You've got good articulation skills, you've got good speaking skills, though you did mess up in between a little bit, but compared to what you gave during your opening remarks, please try to ensure you're being crisp to the point. And look, speaking too fast is not beneficial, and speaking too slow is also not beneficial. It's hard to keep up with people who are speaking too fast, and it's difficult to keep interest when a person is speaking very slowly. Maybe you can go a bit slow if you're putting emphasis on something, depends on how you're managing your tone.
Yeah, okay.
Something that you need to work on, your opening remarks. You need to, how, there's a proverb, right? First impression is the last impression.
Correct. Yes.
Opening remarks are your first impression. And another common feedback. Guys, you're starting your discussion for the first time. Opening remarks, you're giving opening remarks. Basic thing, greet karo yaar. Good evening everyone, and then move on. 2 वर्ड बोलने कितना टाइम लगता है? Greet everyone. Create a better impact. a chance to stand out. Don't end up 45 seconds, it's precious time. Don't end up, good evening, my fellow members and panelists. It's not a, what do you say, a speech that you are giving. Stage पे नहीं बुलाया है, but a proper good evening greeting. Good evening, everyone. Go on. Uh, Ritesh, during your opening remarks, it was great that you tried to build up on whatever Siddhi said. That's why you are saving your own time. You did not have to repeat your, what you say, problem statement at all. But multiple times when someone else was speaking, I understand you started speaking, but someone else had caught the attention. That person had already went into the flow. Your flow was broken. Don't let me complete. When you are supposed to say that, when someone is interjecting you non-stop, when a person is interjecting everyone else non-stop, it was just the start of the discussion. And try to be a bit more audible, speak more clearly. It happened on, I guess it happened with Piyushi. When Piyushi was speaking, she had already went into the flow. She had already said a couple of sentences, and then you are mentioning, let me complete, and she stopped. Because if I'm outrightly saying it, she has to stop. You had good points, but at that particular point, as a person, uh, I'll give some real life examples to you guys so that you understand what point I'm trying to make. Let's suppose we are having a normal discussion. कोई एक पर्टिकुलर आदमी कोई पॉइंट बोलने जा रहा है, मिस आउट हो गया, नॉट गेटिंग इट, बट इज अगेन, रुको 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 मेरी बात सुनो, इफ इज डूइंग दैट, डू यू गाइस जनरली लाइक हैविंग दैट टाइप ऑफ पर्सन इन योर ग्रुप? सुनते हो उसकी? दोस्तों के साथ जो ग्रुप होता है, ऐसा कोई अगर करता है, कितने
नहीं.
जल्दी से बाहर निकलता है? या कितने जल्दी एक छोटा ग्रुप जो बन जाता है उसमें वो नहीं होता है?
Yeah. Right.
अंडरस्टैंड, गेटिंग द पॉइंट?
Yes, yes. Get it.
Okay, moving on towards Krishna. Please, Krishna, you need better articulation. Keep your thought process, give it a proper shape.
I got lost in it.
And while everyone else is speaking, please be a bit more focused. I did not see that much focus from you. You were lost in your thoughts, or maybe you're thinking what you want to speak next, but you have to listen properly. Try to ensure on that. And please, when you're trying to speak, ensure that you know how to, you're being dominant a bit. आप बोल रहे हो, it should be someone, everyone else should be interested in what you are saying. ऐसा ही नहीं होना चाहिए कि पिछला वाला पॉइंट खत्म हुआ, जस्ट कृष्णा का खत्म हो और हम बोले, इसका इंतजार नहीं होना चाहिए. People should be interested in what you are saying, because if you have got good points but you have not able to create the atmosphere for that, having good points is not worth it.
Okay, sir.
पीयूषी, आप आपके ओपनिंग रिमार्क के टाइम पे योर फुल फोकस वाज ऑन योर नोट्स. मैं
Yes,
भी
sir.
आपको फीडबैक दे रहा हूँ, मुझे भी सबका एक एक परसेंट ऐसा, कंसिडरिंग आई एम फोकसिंग ऑन माइन्यूट डिटेल्स, आई डोंट रिमेम्बर 100% ऑफ द थिंग्स, बट मैं पूरा फीडबैक की अगर मैं नोटबुक को देखकर देखते हुए दूंगा, किसी को मजा आएगा फीडबैक में? यू विल
No,
बी
sir.
लाइक हम पढ़ लेंगे. प्लीज आप जो भी बोल रहे हो, इट्स नॉट दैट इजी टू रिमेम्बर द टूल्स यू चोज, द इंडस्ट्री यू चोज. एक इंडस्ट्री, दो टूल्स, पॉइंट्स आर्टिकुलेटेड बेटर इन योर माइंड. एक फ्लो में आपको बोलते आना चाहिए. अब कोई भी स्पीकर, कोई भी बड़ा स्पीकर ले लो, वो जब पेपर से पढ़ के बोलता है वो मजा नहीं आता, लेकिन पेपर छोड़ के जब बोलता है इंटरेस्ट आता है. एंकरिंग वगैरह कहीं भी आप देखते हो,
Yes, sir.
notes, and while the discussion was going on, please look a bit interested even if you are not. At times it was pretty evident कि सामने वाला जो बोल रहा है it's not interesting you at all. Your facial expressions were a bit too explicit. You cannot do that. कम ऑन गाइस, मेरा भी पूरा टाइम कैमरा ऑन था, मैं सिर्फ थिंक टाइम के टाइम
Yes.
किया था, एंड दैट only reason was I forgot my notebook and I was searching for my notebook so that I can write your feedback. मेरा कैमरा पूरा टाइम ऑन था, ऐसा एक सेकंड भी लगा कि आई एम नॉट इंटरेस्टेड. द ओनली टाइम यू गाइस मस्ट हैव फेल्ट दैट इज बिकॉज मेरे को नॉन स्टॉप व्हाट्सएप पे पिंग आ रहा था, आई थॉट दैट समथिंग from Rodha, I messed up with a link or something, something happened. That's why I went and checked my mobile once. That's it. Look a bit more interested. Your
Yes, sir.
it affects you. If I'm not interested, that's a bad reflection on you, your discussion. But if you're not, you yourself are not interested, then just think about it.
Yes, sir. Got your point.
Sonal, आपका बाकी पूरा डिस्कशन गोज वेल, बट ओपनिंग रिमार्क में एवरी टाइम्स व्हाट हैपन इज इट फील्स लाइक यू आर इन अ रश. मुझे 45 सेकंड्स में 25 पेजेस बोलने हैं, या वो रश में दिखता है कि नहीं, मुझे जल्दी से जल्दी मेरे पॉइंट्स प्रेजेंट करने. बी बिट मोर काम, जैसे बाकी डिस्कशन के टाइम पे होते हो. एंड इट्स गुड दैट यू आर टेकिंग लीडर, यू आर लीडिंग during the open floor discussion as well as during the conclusion, but please articulate it better. Especially opening remarks के बाद में जब open floor discussion है and you're starting it, you're giving the shift, please have a better thought process. और आपके पास अगर thought process नहीं है, आपको नहीं समझ में आ रहा कि आपको क्या इंडस्ट्री बोलना है या क्या पॉइंट्स बिल्डअप करना है, just lay the foundation and let go. Even if you're not mentioning your points and if you're just building up the foundation, it's a good entry to have. Guys, we have a 10-minute discussion. Let's start by looking at all the industries one by one and then moving on towards the solution. Even that's okay. This particular problem is repeating with you a little bit. Please look into it. And you ended up mentioning medical aids in your government schemes during the conclusion. How is that relevant to construction? I'm not sure. Your industry, target industry is construction. How is medical aid relevant to it? It can be if you're presenting it in a particular way, but the way you guys presented it was not at all relevant to the industry at hand.
Okay. So what I was intending to say is, since like construction is in place, so it will play the ground level, what should we say, it will pave a way for us, for government to reach to the impacted people, for supplying these things. Because if we do not have proper construction with respect to transportation and all those stuffs, things will be impacted.
Not on to the point. It's still not that clear. I am understanding it because I know the topic and I've seen you discussing over the past few Gs, so I know your thought process as well. But I'm not sure about the other, how on point it is. I'm not able to get what you're trying to say that clearly. Articulate it in a better way, or else look, it's a conclusion. 2 मिनट का conclusion दे रहा है. एक पॉइंट नहीं भी बोलते हो तो not gonna create a difference. If you're shaping up your conclusion pretty well, you can miss out on a few points depending on how your solution is shaping up. Discussion का हर point आप वो 10 मिनट 2 मिनट में cover तो कर नहीं सकते हो. You will be looking at what key points. Focus on that. और
Right.
जो present कर रहे हो, please explain with why are you going for a particular industry. And by saying why are you choosing it over the others?
Got it.
That should be bit एक sentence में highlight होना चाहिए. How is it more relevant? Goes for all others as well. Whenever you guys are presenting your solution, please ensure कि आप जो बोल रहे हो, check how relevant is it. By the way, guys, sorry, I'm breaking the flow. I'm clearly audible, right? Like जो मैं बोल रहा हूँ properly समझ में आ रहा है? Because
Yes.
Yes,
otherwise,
yes.
my mouth and it's a bit difficult for me to speak right now.
Yes.
No, it's
No, sir, you are
clearly
audible.
audible.
You're able to make up whatever words I'm saying, right?
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Not speaking properly right now, that's why I'm confirming.
It's fine.
No, it's audible.
Thank you guys. अनन्या, आपने आपके ओपनिंग रिमार्क में टूल्स बता दिए, ये 2 टूल्स मैं ले रही हूँ, दैट्स इट. Elaborate on it. Why are you choosing those tools? Exactly क्यों लेना? And whenever you are speaking, please be a bit more audible, be a bit more visible. Don't get lost in the crowd. I know we have 11 people over here. Actual Jiva, you'll have 6 or 8. Most probably you'll have 8. But you're lost in the crowd right now. Try to give a bit more relevant entries. Create an impression, because there might be instances where you're getting the same panelist for your PI as well. And if you're not created an impression during your GE, it will create an impression for your PI, and not in a good way. Rahul, opening remark was very, very short. 20 सेकंड 25 सेकंड में आपने खत्म किया. You had 45 seconds. And मैसेज करने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ना चाहिए कि प्लीज सिट प्रॉपर्ली.
Sorry, sir.
गिविंग अ जी. Look, I've had a long day. मैं ऑफिस के बाद I'm not well. If you guys remember my text from yesterday, मैं आधा मैं प्रॉपरली टेक के एकदम कंफर्टेबल पोजीशन में बैठा हूँ, बट इट्स स्टिल, इज इट लुकिंग लाइक आई एम रिलैक्स लेड बैक एटीट्यूड, ऐसा फील हो रहा है?
No, no, not at all.
No.
आप जो बैठे थे राहुल, ऐसा रहता है कि चलने दो. जिस वे में आप बैठे थे ऐसा मैं मेरे दोस्तों के साथ वीडियो कॉल पे बैठा होता हूँ. तो creates
Sorry.
an, you had good points, though you went a bit off topic in between, but still points were good.
Off topic in between as of how?
I don't remember that point. I forgot to write it. That's why I just remember you went off topic. I remember your name. I don't have that written. So work on it.
So I just have a doubt.
Yeah.
So was my Mahakumbh point relevant to the discussion?
Get that point at all. मुझे point क्यों mention हुआ, कहाँ mention हुआ, समझा ही नहीं क्या relevance था. How is it connecting to your discussion? I did not get it. I just thought someone wants to put it. I guess who mentioned Mahakumbh?
Me. So me.
You mentioned.
Yes.
मुझे I did not get it at all कि कहाँ mention हुआ, क्यों mention हुआ.
So Mahakumbh stampede. So I related that to mismanagement and
Presentation was not on point. You just ended up mentioning Mahakumbh with a single sentence, and it was not connecting to the flow of the discussion at that point of time. Look, guys, आपको सिर्फ point बनाना is, it's not necessary to give a point. It's necessary to create a flow of your discussion. If discussion is moving in a certain flow, that's what I was coming to you, Rahul. Flow was something else of the discussion at that point of time. You had a point that was good, but not relevant to the flow of the discussion. Try to ensure you're maintaining the flow. You divert it any way you want, but it should be in a particular flow. ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कोल प्ले का कॉन्सर्ट डिस्कस हो रहा है और अचानक से कोई बोले यार वो एलए में वाइल्ड फायर हुआ था, उसका क्या हाल है. मेक्स नो सेंस. यूर डिस्टर्बिंग द मूड, दैट्स इट. ऊर्जा, you're way too much focused on your notes, not just during your opening remarks, but उसके बाद भी आप notes की तरफ continue देख रहे थे. And I hope you're
Yes,
looking
sir.
at notes and not to your mobile.
No, sir. So I just panicked a lot, and even though I had points in my mind, I could not present them. So I
Because
just
focused on just speaking. You were just focused on your points. अगर आप सुनते properly, you would have found couple of good openings जहाँ पर आप आपका point pitch in कर पाते. Just don't focus on what you want to do. Focus as a group. It's a group exercise.
yes, sir.
You have to do it as a group. So don't be focused in. Look, I understand Sometimes for some people, it's very difficult to, pitch in their points during a group discussion or a group exercise. But that's where you have to get out of your comfort zone. Don't give multiple entries. Give just one or two entry, but make sure that they are relevant and that you are leaving a mark.
Yes, sir.
It's not necessary कि 4-5 entries देना है. 2 entries 30 seconds की more than sufficient.
Yes, sir.
ट्राई आप प्रॉपरली सुनोगे तो आपको फ्लो समझेंगे, आपके जो ओरिजिनल पॉइंट्स है उस पर भी आप पॉइंट बिल्डअप कर पाओगे बेस्ड ऑन व्हाट एवरीवन एल्स सेड. Like Ritesh did, I guess even Rahul did, Sonal did, taking references of what other people said, building upon what other people did. It shows that you have been listening properly, you understand the discussion, and gives you those extra points or ensures that you are not losing marks at least. Issue. आपका एक पॉइंट तो मैंने कॉमन इसमें बता दिया था आपको, एक बड़ी गलती.
Yes, sir.
It's a group exercise. Don't try to create a different mark for yourself at the expense of the group. Obviously, your own identity, but not at the expense of the group. And in your opening remark, you ended up choosing 2 companies. I'm not sure why.
Yeah, I just confused between the I choose two industry.
That's right. Screen भी present हुई थी. Please be a bit more attentive.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Does not create a good impression at all. If you're not paying attention to the instructions, listening skill वहीं पे खराब दिख रही है. फिर आपके बाकी जी के listening skills पे इतना ध्यान नहीं जाएगा. अभय, आपके ओपनिंग रिमार्क में टूल्स प्रॉपरली कनेक्टेड नहीं थे आपके इंडस्ट्री से. यू कुड हैव डन इट इन अ बेटर वे. एंड आपका जो ये है बोलने का वे बोलो या फिर आप जो बोल रहे हो, इट्स स्टिल अ बिट टू मोनोटोनस कंपेयर टू योर लास्ट जीज. देयर इज अ लिटिल बिट ऑफ इम्प्रूवमेंट बट स्टिल अ बिट टू मोनोटोनस. Something that you can work on.
Yes, sir.
And I guess आज तो आपका ऑडियो का इशू था because you are not that clearly audible.
तो क्या था सर वैसे?
I guess आपका हेडफोन ही बेटर था.
पहले वाला?
हाँ. अक्षत, आपने पूरा ओपनिंग रिमार्क दे दिया बट प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट ही क्या था समझ में नहीं आया. You went in your flow that I'm choosing this industry, I'm choosing this tools, but for what problem statement?
Sir, actually, the problem statement had been said 10 times. So I said, according to the problem statement, I did mention explicitly the title.
Would have used those words as well. It would have been good. You did not use those words. I don't have a problem. Considering you're the last person, you don't need to explain the problem statement again. Once करने में कोई फायदा नहीं है. You have to, anyways, in your opening remarks, try to give unique points because you want to stand out from the crowd.
Right, sir.
But please ensure that it's connecting to whatever is happening.
Okay, sir.
Good leadership skills, like I mentioned.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Bit too late. Try to be a bit aware of the clock. इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि पूरा टाइम क्लॉक ही देखते रहोगे. I guess that's it from my side. That's all your feedback.
Sir, I had a doubt that if the discussion is going on in a flow and like I want to say something and somebody is speaking continuously, so how should I enter in the discussion?
That guy will take a pause. Everyone needs to breathe. No one is Shankar Mahadevan.
Yes, sir.
Bas use that opportunity. Or if the person is continuously, what you can do is generally the best way to do this is build up on whatever they have said. They're taking a brief pause, continue on whatever they were speaking, or maybe go against it. Like I think I agreed to what you said. Build upon it. It automatically creates an opportunity for you to speak.
Okay, sir.
I had a doubt on a similar line. First of all, I'd like to say sorry. I interrupted her and did not pass the baton back to her. So I wanted to ask, like, I faced the same problem. Like, I wanted to start. I waited. I tried to jump in a couple of times, and that is why, like, I had to ask her. So, can I speak? So that was a problem.
पहले भी रितेश हो चुका था, सिर्फ सेकंड स्टेटमेंट पे यू वर स्टॉपिंग सिद्धि फ्रॉम सेइंग, सिद्धि और अभय, लाइक लेट मी स्पीक, इट पहले ही हो चुका था.
Okay. Okay, I'll take care of that.
Yash, apart from my introduction, so I had selected transportation as my industry, and I guess nobody was supporting me. But still, I mentioned that point, and then afterwards, I said that okay, in the interest of time, let's select construction as the industry. So,
Look,
was that a correct, correct usage, correct way
introduction
of?
was really good. You're getting points for that, but the way you said it was like you were giving up. Instead, you could have mentioned like looking at the flow the group discussion is going into, and looking at the strong points made into favor of construction. I believe construction is the right fit for the problem statement. It shows that you're accepting that maybe construction is better than the one you choose. Look, acceptance is a part of your journey anyway. जी में सबके पॉइंट्स तो होने ही नहीं वाले, नॉट पॉसिबल, 4 इंडस्ट्री और एक ही चूज करना है. बट व्हाट यू कुड हैव डन इज एक प्रॉपर एंगल से प्रेजेंट करो कि या ओके वी आर गोइंग विद दिस. इट शोज गुड टीम प्लेयर, प्रॉपर टीम प्लेयर दिख रहे हो, अंडरस्टैंडिंग द फ्लो. एंड इट्स पार्ट ऑफ लाइफ यार, हमेशा आप सही नहीं हो गए, अंडरस्टैंडिंग दैट इज ऑल्सो गुड.
Correct. So I had said that even though transportation or any other industry cannot be called as. Okay, okay, please go ahead. Sorry.
Don't focus on the industry you mentioned at that time. Unnecessary focus ला रहे हो. Directly mention करो. Looking at the way the discussion is flowing, I think guys, majority is in favor of construction, and looking at the strong points kept by them, I think that's the right industry to go forward with. I'm not giving up. I'm not saying that I'm inferior or my point was not good. I'm just saying theirs was better. As a team, they created more impact. Okay, thank you for your time, guys.
Thank you.